All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Let's take a look here at the market. This is the NASDAQ futures. I'm going to try to get into a few scalps, but I did just already take a short little scalp to the downside, and I'll quickly explain why I did that. But first and foremost, let's talk about what's going on in regards to market structure on the NASDAQ. Well, we can see structure to the market where it's breaking to the upside, making higher highs and higher lows. If we look at the higher base chart, we really don't see it breaking or taking out any key areas of structure back to the downside on a higher base chart now. Now, if I move down to my 60 range, and that's what I like to do, is to scale back, looking at higher base down to lower base charts to kind of get an overall view of what the market is doing. So this is kind of like a pre-market analysis leading up to the session getting ready to open here within 5 minutes Eastern time. So it's 9:25 my time. But on the 60 range, what I noticed, I believe this was on the 16th of May, last Thursday, I believe. The market did start breaking some structure down to the downside on the 60 range. Now, we're still bullish because of the higher base chart is telling us that we are bullish, right? But even when we start taking out, areas of structure back to the downside on a lower base chart, you need to be very careful and pay close attention, because there still could be opportunities to look for shorts, even if the market is bullish. But that's if you're counter trend trading, and you can do so if you have experience. But again, I talk about new traders, beginner traders. Please try to take your trades in the overall direction of whatever a higher base chart is showing you. And yes, that requires you sometimes having to sit back and wait patiently for the market to really start to maybe break structure back to the upside on lower base charts. So if you pay that close attention here, even though we are breaking structure or had been breaking structure to the downside on the 60 range, if you notice, you see where it started to take out structure back to the upside when it turned back around. This created a demand zone, and that put us back in position with the higher base chart, the 120 overall, okay, because we're bullish on that chart. Even though we're breaking structure to the downside, slightly bearish on the 60 range, we need to look for opportunities to stay in the trend, to stay in the overall direction of the higher base chart. And when we broke structure here to the upside back on the 60 range, then I can look for a pullback to go long, right? When it pulled back to the 60 range demand zone, then we scale down to the lower base and look for opportunity to go short. To go long, right? So then it kept pushing to the upside into yesterday's trading session and broke this swing high right here at 760. So that's a major area or major structural break to the upside. So we're still bullish. Even now we're looking at the 60 and we're looking at the 120. We were dipping back here. You can see it pulling back. This here is a key area of demand that I'm interested in. If it does tap into the zone, I'm just going to wait to see what kind of reaction we get or rejection we get on the lower base chart. But the trade that I took this morning, I'm going to move down to the 24 range, because I want to show you, even on the 60, even on the 120, even on the 60 range chart, we're looking bullish, right? If I step down, pay close attention to this area here, which was yesterday's price action on the 24 range. This is that area right here. We can see where it's starting to break structure to the downside, all right? If I squeeze this together, you can see where it's starting to take out. It broke below here at 730, okay? 18,730. So we got where the market is taking out minor areas of structure back to the downside, or taking out structure to the downside, okay? We'll leave it like that. So what it did was it broke structure to the downside. It did turn back around and start to, this is the swing high right here, okay? That was yesterday's session high right there at 18,795. It started breaking and taking out areas of structure back to the upside. That's a minor area structure. This is a minor area structure. And as you can see, into the morning session here around 6, if you see what it did, it pulled back. This was a key area of demand right here. You could have taken an opportunity to go long there. But what I saw was right here, where the market didn't take out this high right here at 18,795, it started breaking structure lower. I started seeing it where it kept, even though it rejected here, it pulled back, made a lower high here, and then it broke structure lower, and then it took out this swing low right here at 707. So that was another structural break to the downside, leaving behind this area of supply now. Okay, again, we are still bullish overall, but if we are starting to break and take out areas of structure on lower base charts, there's opportunity to take shorts. But again, I'm telling you, if you're a beginner trader, please try to stay and wait for the opportunities to unfold where the market either pulls back to a key area of demand on a higher base chart. Okay, like I showed you right here on the maybe the 60 range, right down here in this area here, there's a demand zone. Or wait for it to kind of start to break structure back to the upside, even on like a lower base chart, maybe the 24 range. And right now you can see we're bearish on the 24 range. So that's why I started to see where it was breaking structure on the lower base chart, my 24 range, pulling back to this key area of demand. And then just scale down and look at my lower base, my entry chart, my 12 range to get into a trade going short. And that's pretty much what I did on this trade that I'm getting ready to show you right here that I posted over on our Discord. So this is that trade right here on the pullback short scalp for like a 10.5 point, almost 11 point scalp back to the downside here. So that was a quick trade that I took scalping based on just, you know, slightly bearish sentiment on the lower base chart, not the higher base chart. Okay. So right now the market is 9:30 now, and we'll wait to see what kind of happens here on the charts here. So it's 9:45 right now. Into a short right here to the downside on the NASDAQ. It's projecting this supply zone. Trying to lock in a stop, but it's okay. All right, it went too quick. So that trade there was just a pullback to a key area or to a supply zone off of my 24 range. So those are just two back-to-back supply zones in a sense on the 24 range, because you can see the market is breaking to the downside on the lower base chart. 24 range, yes, it is moving lower. I had this area of demand resting down here around, I guess, 655 on the 60 range. So again, like I mentioned, sentiment wise overall but looking at the higher base charts, I'd say that we are definitely more so bullish still. But as you can see what's going on now, I mean, it looks like it's trying to possibly break, you know, back to the upside. So if you're looking to to trade in the direction and stay in the direction with the higher base charts, just wait for the lower base charts to start to break structure back to the upside and look for pullbacks to go to go long, for instance. But as it stands right now, I mean, you know, because look, there's this high resting right here. Okay, so this would be a major high. So everything in between, as it was breaking structure lower, will be minor area structures. So, you know, if it starts to break structure back to the upside after it took out a minor area structure here, then basically what will be happening is that it'll put us back in alignment with the higher base chart. But be careful, because you know, there could still be opportunity where the market may want to try to reach certain areas on the lower base chart and then, you know, maybe push a little lower. So you just have to be careful. But as it's re-break structure back to the upside, then you can look for pullbacks to go long. I mean, this is a high here. This right here now is the low on the lower base chart. There's a leg to the downside. So if we let me see here. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, if it starts to re-break structure, I'd say above 720, 18,720, maybe look for a pullback to go, you know, to go long. So just have to wait and see what takes place. So right now, I'm just going to wait it out. It is 9:55 my time. So two back-to-back little entries going short, giving me a total so far of 160 ticks. Just scalping right quick, nothing major. But it all adds up at the end of the day. So that's two little quick trades for me today. And I like to basically, like, you know, take no more than three trades a day. But, you know, it depends on how the market's really moving. And I'll take the setups if I see them unfolding nicely. So just going to kind of sit back and wait to see what takes place. Looking at the Discord, I don't see a lot of activity or in the Discord, so I'm not sure if people are trading or what they're doing. But hey, I'm gonna trade when I see the market, you know, making nice setup. So again, that was the supply area, breaks lower, as you can see. So we continue to break structure to the downside, pulls back, and an area of supply. Now this area right here, as you see, it did pull back to. It did reject, but be careful, because you have a small little breaker structure to the downside, but you also have a supply area resting above it, even though this is a small area of supply right here on the 24 range, but above it there's another one. So if you see basically where there maybe say for instance we had the market breaking structure to the downside, and you have two supply areas basically stacked on top of each other. Be careful because the market most times wants to probably test the higher zone. All right, so I'm going to wait it out right now. So now we can see the market is, on the 24 range is breaking back to the give me a second here, just take a look at the 60 range, breaking back to the upside here on the 24 range chart. You can see it taking out some areas back to the upside. So yeah, so what I'm paying close attention to is to see what the market is going to really do here. Is it going to reject this area here, or is it going to kind of come down and want to test some lower areas? Maybe down here around 690, possibly. So, and again, like I said, this would possibly put us in direction with the higher time frame as we, breaking structure back to the upside. There's a demand zone resting back down here around 690 that the market could reject that, but we just have to be careful. Always, like I talk about, paying close attention to price action as the market retraces back to a key zone. And this is on the 24 range chart. So again, look at your higher base charts, your 120 for me range chart, 60 range chart. I'm trying to depict the overall direction, or determine the overall direction, and then trade accordingly based on what the lower time frame is showing you. So right now it's rejecting this area, and yeah, we could definitely push higher here. So I'm going in for a quick stab. Oh, look at that, it's leaving me behind. You see that? Okay, so at this point here, I'm probably going to go ahead and close this out because it didn't. So this was a long right here. Okay, I missed it. So it may be just trying to test higher areas as it stands, and you can see doing exactly that. It's moving higher. Again, this was a area where I tried to trade from to go long, and it left me behind. All right, so the market is definitely deal with pushing higher here. So I wonder if it's going to kind of break this area structure above 783 or 84, and then take out this high from yesterday's trading session, which ought to be a major structural break to the upside there. So waiting to see what's going to take place. All right, I forgot to hit the recorder, but I'm into this trade going short here, and I'm looking to, let's see where I'm going to take out at. Give me a second. 38, 37. Let's see here. Probably down here around this area here. So I'm going to go ahead and set myself up to take out. I'm just scalping here for a few points down to the downside. Stop's probably going to be on the back end, right above this area here at 56, somewhere there. So let's see what's going to take place here. Let me go ahead and put a stop here in the place a stop up here. Okay. All right. So let's see. Make sure I'm okay. All right. So yeah, let's see what happens here. And this is off my 24 range. I'm actually taking this trade off of the 24 range. So I didn't scale down to the 12 range, but I'm looking forward to possibly run a little lower here. Come on. So I'm looking forward to kind of fill some of these gaps in right here. You see here these imbalances back to the downside. Just going in for a quick scalp. Yeah. I know it could test this area here. Maybe want to test a little higher. See what she does. See what she does. Yeah. Now I gotta be careful here because it could also test let's see, possibly higher areas, to be honest with you. You could test all the way back up here to 775. So need to be very careful. In this area here around 767. Okay. So yeah, there's some higher areas in which it could definitely want to test. So I may take out this trade and looking to see and seeing what's going on now. I mean, we are getting some rejection here. It did slightly break above the supply area here, so yeah, it's wanting to run a little higher here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take out here. I don't like what it's doing right here, so I'm gonna take out. Hopefully, it doesn't stop me out though. Come back down. I'm looking at where it could actually, kind of um, areas it could test back to the upside. So I don't like what it's doing right here, and I didn't really pay close attention to the break right above this area here, the zone. So let me take out, come back lower. Yeah, I'm gonna close this trade out. Okay, all right, close that trade out. That was a no good trade there for me, anyways. At least, I mean, it could actually move down. I'm not saying it can't, but I'm seeing areas of where it could test higher. I'm not saying it can't reject this area because it definitely can and come down and fill these imbalance or these areas here. So you see, it's trying to it's rejecting this area, pushing lower right now. So I'm just gonna wait for the next opportunity. All right, so I'm looking to see what it's gonna possibly do here. Um, hmm. Yeah, so I'm paying attention to um did break this here. I might go long here, to be honest with you. Okay. And looking for it to run back up to the upside here. So take the highs out right up here. Not the high of the day, but just the high or the high of the actual session. But it could come back a little lower here and test down here around 746 possibly. And it could actually test a little lower here. So I really need to, I should have waited till it tapped into the zone 100%. I'm very aggressive on this entry here, but I believe it's maybe wanting to test slightly higher areas because it has some areas in which it needs to fill back to the upside here. And, overall sentiment of the market is bullish, looking even high, looking out further on the, what am I trying to say here? The higher base chart, the 120. So, yeah. Oops. Okay. So let's see here. Um, oops, not letting me put in a, there we go, put a stop in. So let's see. Okay. All right. That's probably fair enough there. I gotta be careful because it can actually come back and test all the way back down here at 43. So I may need to give it a little bit more room. I'm looking for it to run this area here at the tops. This little high that it made right here after breaking this area structure back to the upside. But I gotta be careful because it can test this area right here. And I'm into this trade very early, so now it's tapping into the zone right here. This is a demand zone. You can see it breaking structure to the upside here. But I gotta be careful because it can run this area back here. And basically dig deeper into the zones is what I'm trying to say. Come on, pull away from it and push higher. That's what I'm looking for it to do. So if we get some rejection here, should be okay. If we get rejection and closes back to the upside. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it works out. I'm into it aggressive early without it tapping into the zone, which is a no-no on my part. But there is a demand zone resting right here. After we started breaking structure back to the upside, taking out some of these minor areas of structure. So, all right. Yeah. Let's see what she does. See what she does. See what she does. Okay. Come on, baby. It's probably my last trade if I can get filled here. All right. And I need to be careful here. I'm looking for it to break above this area and come up here and test up here around 767 and possibly up here at 776. So let's see if I can get filled here. And this will be my last one. My last one here. But NASDAQ loves to play around. So you got to be able to see these structural breaks as it's making to the upside here, as it's breaking higher. Okay, breaking above here, breaking structure here, pulling back. As you can see here, breaking higher. Okay, breaking structure right here as well. So hopefully it tests these higher areas up in here. But we'll see. We shall see. One trade at a time, right? But as long as you follow structure and again looking at your higher base charts and trading overall in the direction of the higher base charts, scaling down to your lower time frames or lower base charts, you should be okay. Come on, go up there. Look at that, a few ticks away. Basically like 2 points away. And I may close this if it starts doing some crazy stuff and get out. We're right around this high volume area, and I don't like that. So you see what it's doing. It's above the high volume area, want to come back lower. So it may want to come even test a little lower areas and then break higher. Don't do that. This has been a waiting game. Markets haven't, I don't know, they've just been kind of sluggish, if you want to call it. I mean, there's setups, you just have to be patient and wait on them. And, but the key is really understanding the overall direction and trading that direction. I'm going to hold tight here. I mean, there's no sense in me just sitting here just, well, doing a bunch of rambling and talking. I'm going to hold tight here and see if this thing is going to break higher. Dead smack at this high volume area here. Come on, jump up there and go ahead and grab my TP so I can be done with this foolishness today. Come on. Go ahead. Run those areas back to the upside there. 5 points. Come on, pick up the last little bit of points there. Back to the upside. Look at this. Yep. Tug of war game here, back and forth. Come on. Go ahead. I may take out. Forget it's about 7. Because what is this? About 8, 9 points up here. Come on. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna take out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close that trade out there. We're back up at this little swing high up here, so it's okay. But anyways, that's a couple trades today. I think I took 3, and one of them I showed I took this morning pre-session over on the Discord, and to show it to you at the beginning of the video, and then 2 I captured here within the video. So the first one was a short here, and then so pull back short, and then it's breaking back to the upside now. So this was a pullback, small area of demand right here. So I went long back up, and I'm not sure what it's going to do here. We're playing around this high volume area. It does have a few areas in which it could feel back to the upside. There's a, as it was pushing lower, so there is a supply area zone here and a supply zone here as it was pushing lower. So be careful. Be careful overall. But that's really all I have today. I just wanted to share this, video today, taking a few high probability setups. These were off the 24 range chart primarily. I could have scaled down to the 12 range, but I just found the setups off the 24, so I went ahead and took them off the 24. Typically, I'll use a 12 range as well, so don't kind of beat me up for saying, "Hey, Mike, why didn't you show the 12 range chart?" You could definitely scale down and look for opportunity on the 12 range. It just depends on what chart you see the setups on. So I saw a couple of setups on the 24. I took them. Simple as that. All right. So I'm just not going to trade from the 120 or the 60 range. I prefer to kind of take my trades from a lower base chart in a sense. Once I get below a 60, so if I see a nice setup on the 24, I'll take it. If I see a nice setup on the 60, then I may scale down to the 12 and look for look for more confluence or more confirmation based on rejection at the zone. But that's all I have for you guys. I appreciate you tuning in, watching the video each and every day. For all those that do, that are loyal subscribers to the channel, if you're not a current subscriber, please take the time to go ahead and sub by clicking on the subscribe button down below. All right. Also, make sure to turn your post notifications on so you do not miss one of the uploads here on the channel. Again, I am a scalper. I trade the futures. All right. And I have a specific strategy in how I trade. As you can see, my target, my TP would have been hit because I knew it was going to run this high here. It's potentially probably trying to test higher areas slightly. But anyways, yeah, that's what I do on a daily basis. So I have a specific strategy in how I trade. It's pretty simple. It's just basically using marking up your charts, looking at basically first and foremost, what we want to do is figure out the overall direction on the higher base chart and try to trade in sync with that chart. Okay, meaning when we scale down to a lower base charts, we want to trade in the direction of the higher base chart overall. So in this case here, bullish, and I'm waiting for pretty much breaker structure backs to the upside here to look for opportunities to go on this last trade to go long specifically. But I was looking at the two shorts that I took. Again, I saw we were breaking structure lower on the lower base chart, my 24 range, and we kept doing that. So we broke below this area here. We as we pushed lower here, it pulled back, it broke structure again, breaking below 706. So I said, okay, I'm gonna look for a pullback to go short. It broke structure again, so I look for opportunity to go short again. But again, always be mindful of what's going on in your higher base chart, because at any given moment, this market could have shifted back around and we flip back to going looking for long opportunities at demand. So, but that's all I have for you today. If you're interested in joining the Discord, it's free. Find the link down in the description portion of the video. Click on it, invite yourself in. Again, it is free. That's all I have. I appreciate you watching today's video. If you found value in the content, this is just me basically giving you a rundown of my mindset of what I was looking at unfolding and kind of analyzing the market and taking trades based upon what I saw across, 3 charts in a sense. Okay, the higher base, 120, 60 range, 24 range, and I could have even scaled down to the 12 range. But that's all I have. See you later. Trade safe, and hopefully you have a green day.